Zaku Baruch, good morning everyone. Boker Tov, Shavua Tov. Welcome to Jack and the Muyal family. As we Leilu Nishmat, their dear mother Denise Muyal, Aleh Shalom. So we are continuing here in Siman Nun, Seif Bet, in the Shem Shem again, where he brings the minhag of if one should fast on the day of their wedding or not. So in general, Ashkenazim have the custom of fasting on the day of the wedding until the chuppah. Then after the chuppah, they go to the yichud room and they eat. They break their fast then. Sfaradim in general didn't have this minhag, and well, we'll see in a moment. But the general is not. And Rabbi Ovadia Yosef writes that if one did have this minhag upon coming to Eretz Yisrael, they should not have this minhag because it's not the Sephardic minhag. Rabbi Shalom Asas writes that it was a little bit different in Morocco. Now, in Morocco in general, we bunch it all in one place, Morocco, but there was many cities, each one had many customs. So Rabbi Shalom Asas is from Meknes, and it's just an interesting insight to what went on there. And he says as follows, that in Morocco they would make the weddings always on a Wednesday, and that's how it was also in the times of the Gemara. And the reason, Wednesday. So the reason is because Bet Din was on Mondays and Thursdays. So if there was an issue, then they would go to Bet Din the next day. We'll talk about that maybe a different time. But weddings were always on a Wednesday. Now, they would always get married in the morning as well, the chuppah. So he says that morning, Wednesday morning, it was a beautiful tefillah at the shul with the chatan, tefillah chagigit, was singing, etc. And all of his cousins and family comes to pray that morning at the shul. After shul, they would go to the house of the kala. As an entourage, they would walk the chatan to the house of the kala, and the kala is already dressed beautifully and ready, and there they do the chuppah at the house of the kala. And then from there, everybody, the whole entourage, walks the chatan and kala to the chatan's house. And on the way, if they passed by family members' homes, they would stop there for a bit. They would give them gifts on the way, and then the whole entourage would eventually get to the house of the chatan. And there would be a seudah, a small seudah of cakes and eggs and sweet things. And then at 12 o'clock, they would get ready for the regular seudah. They would have the full seudah, and that's how it would go throughout the 7 days, seudah in the morning and at night for the Sheva Brachot. And the fast of the Chatan, there was a custom of the Chatan fasting the day before the wedding, on the Tuesday. And he says, Bididi hava uvda, I did it myself. That says Rabbi Shalom Asas, that I fasted the entire day on the Tuesday, the day before the wedding. And that night, when it came nightfall, that's when I ate. And he says, and for me, nichnas bi regesh gadol. It was a very emotional thing for me. I think it's a minhag tov. It's a good minhag to do. V'yafeh le'orer ha'adam b'yom chotinato v'yom simchat libo, to awaken a person on the day of his wedding. And v'makom gila sham tiyeh ra'ada. Says this is an important line, that in a place of happiness there should also be a little bit of fear. Meaning, it's a holy day. It's a great day. It's not just a party, but it's an important day. I think I may have spoken about this recently. I try to impress upon couples that come to meet with me, and then they tell me, oh no, but our food's not going to be kosher at the wedding. So I try to impress upon them how it's so important, and how, anyways, I said, we're not going to marry, I'm not going to marry you if it's not kosher, and as the Orthodox rabbis here as well, because then it's showing as if that we approve that it's not that non-kosher is okay. But the other angle is that it's not just a party; it's a holy day. This is bringing a family, a home into Bnei Israel, and therefore, in a place of happiness, there also has to be koved rosh. There has to be, I don't know how to say that in English. There has to be seriousness. It's a serious moment, and therefore, plugging it to here, Rabbi Shalom Asas says, and therefore, the fasting is a good minhag, and it gets you into the mode of the seriousness of the day of the wedding. He says, of course, if a person doesn't have the minhag, then they don't have to. But if they want to, they certainly could. They don't have to abolish it. And on that he argues with Rabbi Yosef. They don't have to abolish it. But he says, and I think this is different for Ashkenazim, the kala though never fasts. Where I do think that kala of the Ashkenazim do fast. He writes, no, but the kala never fasts. Now he doesn't mention this, but there are some people that they do a half-day fast until chatzot. And personally, that's what I did. but that's some people write that to kind of straddle in both worlds a little bit. A fast until midday. Okay, that gives us a little bit of an insight into the weddings, how it was in Morocco, and this concept of fasting on the day of one's wedding. That's that for today. Mincha tonight at 7:15. Following tefillah, we're going to be heading to the cemetery, Pardes Shalom, for the unveiling of our dear longtime member, Mrs. Denise Muyal, Aleh Shalom. If anyone could join and help out with the minyan, it would be greatly appreciated. So that's again right after tefillah. Time called for is at 10 at the cemetery, Pardes Shalom, Magen David section. Have a good day, everyone. Tana